third game draft starting now. So, a moment. Alright guys, Sky... We just talked about a potential ban on the Haka, given that it's Sky Templar as our third map, and guess what? The first thing that happens is the Jabronis just shutting down the global mobility on the hero. It is a 1-1 in the series. It's a best of 5, so each one of these teams has to win 2 maps in order to make it into the league for 2017. We had some crazy games happening thus far, and yeah, one of them is going to take the lead again. So I'm excited for this one, not gonna lie. After the last game in particular, this is starting to get intense.
Yep, it is getting very stressful. Both games have been super close, with 1 team fights, 1 objectives from both sides every single time. And we're going to start off with the Jabronis with the ETC pick. They don't have the Dahaka here, so they'll go with the next best thing in terms of potentially global tanks.
Now, the Li Ming ban again. Apparently, the Russian Circus really had a bit of a problem in the first game on Dragonshire dealing with the Li Ming, and they just simply said, okay, if she gets the resets here, if the way that we fight right now leads to deaths on our side, Li Ming can just capitalize on it too much. We don't want to deal with it. You not really see Li Ming banned all this often. The one thing that we have to point out again is, though, that the Jabronis are following the same MO that they did the last few games. They prioritize the ETC very highly when they get him, so we have them taken again, and they this time play a Tracer comp. Tacita, Tracer, and that changes the gameplay a little bit. I was just about to talk about a potential ban on maybe even Leoric if they are afraid that the Jabronis are going to use him again. Keep in mind they played him in nearly every game that we casted of them so far, usually trying to get the Entomb together with a stage dive. But of course, this particular pick on the side of the Jabronis triggers now the Brightwing being banned out, since it's a very common combo to have with Tracer.
Yeah, there are still plenty of other supports that do work with this, but banning out that Brightwing very quickly denies global and denies the hero that combos the best with that Tracer, so it makes a lot of sense.
And yeah, so we have at the same time now the variant banned out. Did you already talk about this? Sorry, I had to look something up.
I didn't know. I didn't even notice it. I missed the highlights. So yeah, variant being banned out. It has been played this tournament. We would like to point this out. It's not in the game we casted, unfortunately.
But right now, Varian banned. I mean, you don't see the Varian here. I explained it a bit earlier. He's not added to the draft tool that we're using here, or that the teams are using just now. So the blank band that you see there, that's actually representing the new hero, which is Varian. And the Jabronis, with a Tracer comp, are just afraid from that point-click stun that you have on level 4 with Varian, especially with a potential follow-up on Roots and Storm Bolts that we are seeing with Muradin and Malfurion. So Varian can actually be played as a bit of a counter to Tracer in these cases, and if you have a fair amount of lockdown next to him, then stacking these stuns and maybe dropping in a Jaina for the burst damage is just absolutely brutal. So Varian banned out for exactly that reason, and the Russian Circus, they pick up Zul, which gives them even more control in these fights, thanks to the Bone Prisoner, of course, and of course damage dealer number 1, it's the Tychus, who, let's face it, wrecked them pretty hard in the last game in a lot of the fights that we saw.
Yep, the Tychus was very good. Second, he got that big red button. He was just turning everything around. So in this case, picking him up makes a lot of sense. And of course, he's a tracking hero with he uses that overkill, his Q ability. He can chase down Tracer as long as he doesn't blink too far away.
The Jabronis still need their healer, and then they need to make a decision on their last pick. Now we have seen a fair, normally we see a second damage dealer with this. You can go for an assassin, a melee assassin if you want. You need to make sure that you have some damage output there on the board too. The Rhaegar is taken since the Brightwing is banned out. When it comes to the bot lane, there are heroes who could take this role already, but it's likely that it's actually likely in this setup that we are seeing for Russian Circus a dedicated bot laner outside of Zul. He can be played at the bot lane, but they have played with a lot of triple front lines as well. We've seen that also played during the Chinese tournament that is taking place at the same time, quite a fair bit. So both of the teams still have the opportunity to go for a little bit of outside-the-box thinking picks, and this is also a map where in the past we've seen, for example, a lot of Zeratul being played.
Yeah, Zeratul get a lot of value. Sometimes we've seen it combined with the Abathur, who's also another hero on this map who can be picked sometimes just due to the global here. But Jabronis, they're running down their time pool. They want to make sure that they have 100% the pick that they feel is the best, so just going through every option in their group together.
for good reason.
Yeah.
This is going to give the lead, and if you actually lose this map, you have to win 2 in a row, and that's just 2 times you just sitting there and worrying about every single pick that you make or that every single hero that you lose. And this is the melee assassin. I just talked about it. Having the melee assassin in there for the damage, so they are going to play a Tracer and Illidan composition with a double support behind it. How is the Russian Circus going to react to it?
I
They
think
need
damage
a bit more
Lili,
damage.
if I had to
Sorry?
guess. I think damage Lili, if I had to guess, to try and counteract.
Could be one of the options for sure. Do they have the damage output if they go for it? They have the Tigers. They can play damage Lili, but the focus on a single target, is that really there if they pick the Lili right now?
Potentially. I think potentially, especially if you take the vulnerable on Zul. There are other options, obviously. If you want to do this, they could even run Sylvanas. They could get a good amount of extra damage out of that. The Sylvanas Zul combo would just basically crush any pushing potential that would happen. But plenty of options. With the 2 main damage dealers being auto attacks, the blinds would help them here, but they do in fact go for that Sylvanas. They want that extra damage, like you did say.
All right, Sylvanas with the silence, of course. That's going to be a big deal for them too. And that, I mean, they have, I guess at this point we're having Hydra going for Zul. We're having Power of Dream again on the Muradin. Sefkaja, of course, going to play. There's Neon, I suppose, will play the Tigers here, and then we're going to have so Ice Cream on Sylvanas. So yeah, the silence is definitely going to be a big part of this. Getting a good Wailing Arrow off will be important against this comp. But guys, the stage is set for game number 3. We're going to jump in on Sky Temple to find out which team is going to take the lead in this best of 5 series. All right. Aggressive comp with Illidan.
Yep. We've seen this kind of combo before with the Illidan and the Tracer combined together, and it could either crush games without any kind of difficulty or lose in very spectacular fashion. We've seen both spectrums.
Yep. No, it's definitely true. We have also like full lobby with casters. We are getting ready for the game, so Ice Cream is on the Sylvanas as expected. So yeah. Tracer is I mean, it's all about Muck in my opinion right now. Muck on the Tracer has to do most of the work. Kronos, of course, on the Illidan is also another hero that is incredibly crucial here in the setup. But I feel Tracer has to be delivering the damage and really pressuring the backline hard enough. It's a very, very aggressive combo that Jabronis play here. I like it. I like it a lot, I have to say. So let's see if they can actually make that work. Sky Temple is the map. And we have the Jabronis to the left side right now. One of the teams is going to take the lead here. We have seen 2 incredible matches already, 2 very intense maps, especially towards the later stages. Let's see if something like that is happening again, or this is a little bit more clean cut. But yeah, here we go. Game number 3, everybody. It's the 3rd game. One of these teams is going to take the lead. The best of 5 series in the semifinal. And to the left side, the Jabronis with ETC played again by Mopsio. Digazoy on Tassadar, Maka on the Tracer, Kronos on Illidan, and Linked is playing Rhaegar. Double support for this lineup, whereas to the right side we have Sefka on Malfurion again, so Ice Cream on Sylvanas, Power of Dream on Muradin, Neon on the Tigers, and Hydra is playing Zul this time. No Rexa, not this time, but yeah, there's a lot on the line here. There's a lot on this. There's a lot, very high stakes for both of these teams, considering, of course, their future in Heroes of the Storm in 2017. Very aggressive setups thus far. ETC waiting a little bit with his level 1 talent, as Illidan is already orientating himself a bit far down to the bot lane here.
Starting off with those level 1 talents, ETC did finally pick it. He goes with that Prog Rock, more sustain for the Illidan and the Tracer. Everything is about that in this scenario. Tracer rounds so that she can chase a little bit further. Backlash on Zul. They do want that burst style, and we see block onto that Muradin. The one talent that isn't really based on the extra burst for the side of Russian Circus, but they should possibly be fine without it if they can continue to get that lockdown.
Oh, Power of Dream, really aggressive up here. Already scouting out, of course, what's happened here. Good Stormbolt against Tracer, hops out, but Mopsio is already trying to slide. There's no Dwarf Toss anymore, but with Sefka being up at the top lane, he can just simply go straight for a heal. Sefka therefore helping out Muradin here, who is now starting to go for the vision. Both of the teams very far forward. We've seen very aggressive styles for both of those. And down to the bot lane, Hydra, he's ready and he's going up against Kronos this time.
Yep, we will see a bit of a duel between those two, quite a fair amount. Right now, the 3 men in the top lane try to put some pressure onto Mopsio by pushing that up as best as they can. And Zul rotating between bot and mid lane here, getting those skeletons as much value as possible and positioning himself to help with the temple depending on how many people are in mid. With Rhaegar already taking it and Tracer showing herself, he decides, yeah, I'd rather take my chances with Illidan.
Another thing to consider here is that with the setup that is being used for the for the Russian Circus here, they can always decide to let an objective slide and just simply push the lane with Sylvanas and also, of course, then with Zul. They have to be very careful about being flanked by Maka and by Tracer and Illidan, but overall they had the opportunity to just play around the objective at least to a certain extent. Power of Dream, waiting for a long time, not wasting any cooldowns here, playing very efficiently. And both of the teams end up with level 4 talents as they're exchanging shots, but there is a bit of a wave that is being missed in the mid lane right now.
Yep, Tychus has pushed that up pretty nicely, so no one from blue team available. Illidan will get at least a couple of them, but not a huge amount. So having a look at level 4 talents as both teams have hit them, and neither team seems to want to fight over any of the remaining shots as they are now taken. Jailers for Zul, setting himself up for that potential vulnerable talent later on to begin that burst. And of course, the second vulnerable being set up for the Sylvanas here with Lost Soul, allowing her to spam out that Shadow Dagger. And once she gets that Cold's Embrace, she's going to be able to spam out the vulnerable onto heroes more often.
Yeah, definitely right. 16 is going to be big for them then, but they're actually still really starting to capitalize on the wave clear that he has. It's one of the reasons why the hero is usually picked. We see him, this is one of the main reasons why we have him mostly with the Spider Queen, but lately, as we've said, he's making a bit more of an appearance on other maps as well, and he's just going through all of the maps right now, trying to make sure that they're getting the wave clear in, and he has started to switch his focus a little bit from the bot mid to the top mid, since we will see the next temple activated at the bottom lane, so the rest of his team is starting to focus a little bit more on the bottom half of the map, with the exception of them now going for the Bruiser camp first of all to get a bit more pressure.
Yeah, so we have a Bruiser camp being taken for Russian Circus, whereas the Jabronis taking their easy camp quite early, in fact, way before the objective. But that's good, you don't want to take it on the objective because it's going to be killed off by the enemy team rotating down. Whereas the Russian Circus taking that Bruiser camp a little bit early, while Illidan takes the Bruiser camp for the Jabronis.
And this is really one of those moments where the decisions of Zul are going to have a huge impact on how this is going to be played. Since the bot lane, you can let it slide. You can actually just posture around with 4, try to get a few shots in and move back if you have Zul getting a massive value up at the top and maybe pushing through a fort even. It's just a question of how your opponent is reacting, and Sylvanas is already exploiting the fact that heroes at the top lane are currently waiting for something to happen here, so they are going through the first tower, and objectives matter a lot here. Dickozor is super low, and there's the kill against Tassadar, which confirms the first blood for the red team. They're having a lead for Russian Circus as they aggressively push through the bot lane, and they're going to eliminate Fountain.
They're going to try and go for the fort, actually. They're going to keep going with this. ETC, no global yet. He's just way far away to help his team. So it's a 2 versus 4, and there's no way they can defend it. This fort will go down, and that means these shots are going to re-rotate up to the mid lane here. Zul, however, will be going down here. He's going to get like 1 skeleton. Oh, hang on. Bone Shield present. Bone Shield able to keep him alive for at least a little longer, but Cronus diving the fort pretty easily, able to clear that out. And will now clear the lane thanks to his Immolation level 1 talent.
It's still totally worth it for them, though. They got the entire fort at the bot lane, all of the structures, which of course makes the objective now really worth it. We're having the fight at the bottom of the map starting up in just a little bit. Tracer's trying to get a kill. That would be big. If they can get to Ice Cream, he survives for now, but can he go through the gate? He can't. Counter kill would be great, but Mopsio survives and Power of Dream has to jump back. The kill against Sylvanas changes the game a little bit here for them. They were about to make that play for that bottom temple. They are close to level 10 right now, but we have Jabronis just showing signs of life here. And now to the top lane, Zul is continuing the pressure and will get level 10 for his team.
Yeah, Zul will just summon a load of skeletons up in that lane and push that up. Give the gift of life. Become a necromancer today. He's going to grab the watchtower as well to try and prevent this kind of ganks that he suffered a little bit earlier on. And just in time for level 10 to be hit by both teams. We do see the Skeletal Mages and the Dragon Laser Drill. Not going to see the Odin this time, so we're not going to see those big red button combos at level 20. Stage dive for the ETC, and it is Metamorphosis for Illidan. Expected, but no hunt, sad times.
Fight. Okay, they are just disengaging. Tej, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you, hopefully.
Is there any doubt in your mind that this game is going to be decided over a fight at the boss?
Yes, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen because that's how all of these go with these two teams. They're so evenly matched.
Yeah, at this point, I'm really just waiting for that big full-on brawl that happens between the two teams over the boss where they are trying to make their plays. I can totally see that happen again, and I'm already afraid of it happening. It can turn the tides of the battle, and eventually we're going to see it happen. You guys know what I'm talking about. We have seen that several times today already. But for now, it's still even experience, like absolutely on point. Top lane Power of Dream was actually putting in some pressure and attempted stun against Kronos on his Illidan. That didn't really happen. They couldn't lock him down anyway. Sefkaja was not in range for a root there. But both of the teams are making their plays. And one thing that I really want to point out again is the structural advantage that we already see for the red team, for the Russian Circus. It's really one of the big advantages that they have in this setup.
Have we pointed out the Mule instead of Cleanse on the Malfurion yet?
No, not yet, but ETC dives in and robs us of that opportunity for a moment. But that's actually something that they expected, and there's the kill. The question is the cleanup crew on the side of the opponent able to take them down? Because Sefkaja is dead, and that's the healer gone already. There comes the immediate metamorphosis on the side of Illidan. But the jailers, the bone prison still hits, and they can't chase deep enough.
Yeah, they were able to get out of that quite well, considering how good that stage dive was, and able to turn that into making it a 1-for-1 as opposed to a potential full team wipe with the great Twilight Dream. But yeah, no cleanse here. When they're up against ETC is pretty much the only crowd control, so all they have to do is to avoid him as much as possible, and the cleanse isn't 100% necessary. So we do see Sevka making that sacrifice. He's like, well guys, learn to dodge power slide please. I need to repair these buildings.
This is a fight for the mid-temple. There's no split. There's no split happening. They're fighting here. They're going for it. We have a couple of the heroics up again, and one of them is the drill. So no Odin, drill on the ground can really work with these positional fights that we have. The two of the forts are already down, and at the bot lane, a camp is pushing that Illidan has been taking a little bit earlier. So that Siege Giant camp can get solid value here. The fight is still starting. Power of Dream, very careful, needs to drop his avatar, or does he? He should! And there it is, turning it around, trying to go for the kill, and they get it! They drop Tracer! They're able to lock her down and obliterate her, and the chase is on as Tacita seems to be target number 2. But Power of Dream has been pushed back by ETC. The temples, on the other hand, are still up for grabs. And as long as they take down those Siege Giants at the bot lane, they should come out of this ahead.
Yeah, they're actually going to leave the Siege Giants due to the so many minions being there. They can at least weaken them enough for the newly rotating heroes to do it. So Power of Dream is using this time as quick as possible to start taking this temple. Mobzio is in position to try and raid it. He is spotted though, but he's trying to escape here. Takes a little bit of damage. Sylvanas with the potential to chase, as due to no cleanse on that Malfurion, she took Will of the Forsaken.
13 versus 13 in talents, and yes, you're right, Will of the Forsaken is going to be big for her. It's going to be a really important one. Talking about important, we have again Metamorphosis and Stage Dive being used, but Illidan was already in trouble. Great Wailing Arrow being used here, and the silence on the side of Malfurion. Job well done, but not resulting in a kill for them, so they couldn't capitalize on it with damage, and the temple is still up here, of course.
Zul forcing that ancestral healing onto ETC there. Thanks to the fact of his level 13, the Giant's Curse. He was able to do 2% with each one of his swings with his curse, with his W talent here. But now they're focusing onto Illidan. He is rooted. No metamorphosis this time. It was on cooldown, and as such, he is picked off. Still temple shots remaining, but they're just going to use the time to clear up the minion wave.
And are they making the play for boss?
Oh, they might do. No,
they're not. I like it. I really like it. Knowing Russian Circus, I really saw them moving towards boss as soon as they killed it. And it was just like, oh my god, are you risking it? But they're not. They're playing it smart here, and I like that a lot for them. They have currently 4 kills against 3. It's still a very close game, but the big advantage that we have is, of course, that we still see a fort at the bot lane. And you pointed out the Mule a little bit earlier, and we are seeing that getting solid value now on the side of the Russian Circus. Saving this fort is big. That's going to soak up a lot of potential shots, or it's at least going to waste time, as the Jabronis will have to attack it manually. But overall, a level lead for the Russian Circus, and they are starting to attack the keeps, which is of course a pretty big deal once that we're seeing temples activate again on the map.
The Jabronis, though, trying to burn out that mule. The mule has run out of duration now, so they're trying to get the fort anyway, but the time that brought means that we are going to see the Jabronis stay a little bit longer than they would have otherwise intended, so there is a chance for Muradin to maybe move them from the top and try and get them a kill. Like here too, but the stage dive is going to be the Jabronis who try to make the engagement. These Skeletal Mages dropped very far forward here. Sylvanas, with one of the Forsaken, escapes.
Nice ice block on Sefka Share. The double kill, the triple kill, the quad! They take everyone down. It's an entire team wipe. They dodge the stage dive. They get the kills right away. Sefka saves himself with the ice block. It was exactly what he needed there. We saw Sylvanas with the Will of the Forsaken just jumping back out, not dying either. It's an entire team wipe, and the Russian Circus, they go for the boss immediately. They have a camp pushing the top lane. The boss is going to go through the bottom, and we have Sylvanas to push with it. Great play here, and an incredibly important victory at this point for the Russian Circus in this game.
The Russian Circus making themselves the ringmasters right now, putting themselves in control of this game with a boss, with some siege giants, and they have 2 temples on the map that they can take control of. They're just going to let bot push itself and use that distraction to grab the temples.
Yeah, they're going up to the top temples right now. They grab the vision, they set everything up. They have level 16, nearly 17. The talent is there. It's ready. We have, as expected, the Cold Embrace capitalizing, synergizing with the level 4 talent, the Lost Soul, getting that extra vulnerability in to drop a Tracer, drop an Illidan whenever they have to. Boss at the bot lane nearly defeated, defended against, but there's still a Siege Giant camp. Illidan has to stay a bit longer. The first temple is already taken, and they decide to just take only one of them. They let ETC move to the top. There's a lot of shots already taken, so they say we don't need all of the shots on both of them. We can complete one and then fight for the other. We have the talent, just don't die right now. Played as 5, make sure that we don't fall. We have a massive lead in structures. We can sacrifice a fort for this.
Yeah, and it is exactly why you said here we are seeing Russian Circus playing on one temple, because they know the one way that the Jabronis can get themselves back into this game is if they catch someone out. So if they stay together, then that's not going to happen. And now we see Russian Circus roaming as 5, a little bit split up, but still roaming as 5 up to the top lane. Power Dream trying to get focused by Maka, who does have that extra 10% damage on his grenade and has the cooldown up. Here comes the Metamorphosis very early, getting focused down by Neon. Skeletal Mages dropped in a good zoning position here, but now the fight is being forced away from it. Wailing Arrow hits nothing.
Wailing Arrow doesn't hit anything, but they're still chasing, and they're chasing hard. Maka gets locked down by the Bone Prison. Whoa! Nearly the kill against Tracer. So close. They're all on the run. 16 versus 16. And the temple is still up. They're moving for it. And there's talents that have been saved. We still have the drill. We still have also Malfurion with his ult. They don't drop a keep yet, but they are all so low. And there is no Mule on the side of the Jabronis. Mule only for the opponent, only for the Russian Circus. The Jabronis find themselves in a bit of trouble here. They need to be super careful. They need to start winning fights here. So far, the combo of the Russian Circus is really countering what we're seeing with the aggressive Tracer Illidan composition.
Mule dropped right now onto that mid 4. It had barely any damage on it, but it's all going to be repaired up. And that means even more shots needed for the Jabronis to bring themselves back in. They really have to make the most of their own pushing. Their heroes are basically the only way they're going to take down the majority of structures, because they're losing team fights. So they need to be able to get pushing done somehow. But how, with the amount of team fight that Russian Circus is showing?
At this point, the Russian Circus is very happy to just wait for experience to drop into their hands, since they know they will be the first team to hit 20 if this continues. So they're trying to defend. They're not trying to be aggressive here right now. The fights have been going very well for them. 9 kills against 3. But they are saying, guys, all we have to do is wait for 20. We have the edge. Wait for the next objective. If we can fight over an objective with a talent advantage, we are very likely to make it. And the pressure is on the opponent. That's what we're seeing here. They are starting to go straight into the middle, trying to pressure this. They saw Zul at the top lane, of course. And Hydra is already on his mount, just waiting for the moment to move back into the middle, since they expect the stage dive of ATC to be used.
Yeah, we will see Maka grab that watchtower, just gaining some extra vision. Mule once again dropped onto mid, keeping it alive. Every fort matters on this map, and we are seeing that from Sevka. Just such a good choice when ETC is the only CC.
And we have Hydra moving just from the top straight to the bottom. He's just saying, like, wave after wave, I'm gonna take this one after another. Camp is taken. This is a potential fight here. Once more, Linked is ready. They're all there, but Zul is moving in as well. It's a close quarter fight. I'm not quite sure if you really want to take this right now. If you're the Jabronis, they let the camp go, but we have a single temple activating up at the top lane. The question is, how much experience can you get with those few waves here? There's only one more. Zul had the chance to take another one in the bot lane, decided against it. This is not enough for 20. This is a 16 versus 16 talent fight, ladies and gentlemen. Sefka, they're blocking the ult with the Ice Block. They're going for it once again. The drill is already on the ground, but Neon is in trouble, and so is Sefka. Both of them extremely low. Mopsio is about to fall. He dies. The 20s are in play, but is that enough, Tetcher?
So Ice Cream trying to do some damage. He bolts away with his level 20 that he just got. Power of Dream trying to decimate the backline. Hydra gets focused down. -2 damage. He gets healed from Sevkar, though he's still alive. Illidan finally getting that kill. Now it's Power of Dream who's turning it around. He is full on health right now. So Ice Cream getting healed up from Sevkar as well. And even though we see a 4 versus 3 right now, we see Russian Circus at least repel Jabronis from pushing any further. But now we're going to see the Temple going over.
Temple goes over to the Jabronis. The Russian Circus again in a bit of a problem here. They lose the fort in the mid lane. They are still in the lead when it comes to the overall position on the map, but losing that battle was a problem because now we are seeing Jabronis catching up in experience and doing very well with this. They need a 5 versus 5 again, not getting that level 20 talent before the fight started. It was a close call, by the way. ETC jumping in when there was only a sliver of experience missing, but it worked out in the end for the Jabronis. They got the kills they needed. They get the Temple, and now they are in a position where they themselves start to put pressure onto one of the keeps. But of course, the Mule is still key here.
Yeah, the Mule is on cooldown for the moment, 17 seconds, as it was used in the bot lane to heal up the damage that Siege Giant got, that Illidan was able to take earlier. But now the boss has been started by the Jabronis. If they get it, they can put some good pressure onto this bot lane. But here comes Russian Circus. Mopsio positioned very well to try and delay this. There's the Force Wall, but Power of Dream, he just walks in.
He just jumps on it. They're fighting. This silence is going to be there in just a second. The skeleton mages are already on the ground. The first silence is in there, going for the fight. EDC is down. He's dead. The damage output of Neon is insane.
Death Metal from ETC, buying time. They take down Neon. Krona's still alive. He finally gets taken out, but so is Hydra by the grenade from Tracer. But it's 3 versus 3, but Linked is so low. But Maka takes down the Sylvanas, takes down Sevka. Linked on the run. He will maybe escape if he doesn't walk back into Power of Dream like this. Get out of there, Link. There's the stun. There's the jump. Link getting shielded. He will get out. The boss was taken, though, by the Russian Circus. They lost almost everything, but they stopped their bot lane from losing the keep.
2 versus 4, and the bot lane being assailed by the boss right now. So they are starting to lose that keep. No Temple activated or announced just yet. That's going to happen very soon, though, but this keep is definitely going to fall. They couldn't capitalize on the fact that they killed 4 heroes just now. Tracer just cleaning house in that engagement. It looked great for the Russian Circus, but then Maka just completely turned around. Digazoi staying alive on his Tacita and shielding him the entire time with the Leeching Plasma helped, of course, a lot. Double Temple on the board, and both of the teams will be back with 5 heroes once that thing is activated. 1 keep down, the second keep nearly fallen. The situation for the Jabronis is getting tenser and more intense by the moment.
I will say, shout out to the clutch death metal pick on that boss fight, because ETC was like, well, Muradin's here and we can't kill him. I guess I'll just make it easy to kill everyone else, because everyone was dropping off that shrine. So we picked that in perfect timing to guarantee at least the fight was won, even though they did lose the boss, because ETC died on the point.
You're totally right. I mean, that was a key talent here to take. Okay, keep in the mid lane. It's going to be attacked any second. Here comes the fight. ETC is jumping in. This is the battle. This is the fight. This is the one moment. The drill is on the ground already. Sefka has to be careful. Not using his ult just yet. Their heal is through. Ancestral is out. They're moving back. Good damage. So this is great for the Russian Circus. Look how completely isolated Illidan is.
Here, Cronus. The root misses. He gets out with the friend or foe. He is getting away from this now. And we see Power of Dream getting focused down, but he's pushing through. It's just wading through all the damage.
We still have 2 heroic abilities, big ones saved on the side of the Russian Circus. Metamorphosis hasn't been used either, though. Top lane about to pressure in against the keep at the bot lane. This is where the fight now happens. Mule is already on the ground. Twilight Dream hasn't been used yet. Can Sefka capitalize on that? Can they use it? In comes Mopsio. They need to be careful. They need to remember his 20. Sefka gets low, so does Hydra. They're once again starting to take the fight to Illidan. He's jumping in with the Metamorphosis. Sefka waiting for the ult, using it. There's the silence, but they cannot kill anybody with it.
Naka was in the backline doing some damage. Hydra getting focused down. That's the first kill in this fight. And the Force Wall prevents the escape of Neon, but Mopsio can't chase any further. Oh, Crona's very nearly getting pulled in there. And the Mule not able to save the bot lane. The Mercat pushing in too far. It delays it. It buys time, but that Mercat wasn't going to go any further.
Like, what are these games? 22 kills here once again, and we're seeing them make a play for the top now. But again, it's all about the stage dive. Stage dive, and more stage dive. They're letting this go. ETC is putting in the pressure. 13 seconds. Kronos is there. He knows that they might go for the camp. He's waiting. ETC, is he gonna jump in? Not so far just yet, but there is another temple on the map. The temple shouldn't take down a keep, but it's going to damage it for sure.
Yeah, Mule also positioned to repair the damage that temple does, but the shots are going onto mid, like you did say earlier. Bruisercap getting cleared up by Kronos with his immolation and just the insane damage output that he does have right now. Once again, Russian Circus delaying this game as long as possible, putting themselves in a good position right now, moving into the mid lane. ETC is already positioned, but that keep is super low. If they can take it down, it would be good, but Mopsio is positioned here, so if he's going to stage dive, it's going to be here while they're running away.
Yeah, Hydra is with the team though. It's a 5 versus 5 once again in the back line. Yep, hello Illidan. Nice Moonfire. They go for him. Don't use any ults just yet. ETC with the stage dive. Power Dream jumps away. The drill is on the ground. This is the fight that matters. This could decide everything. Who wins it? Hydra is solo. Hydra again isolated and dead. Kronos jumped out. Iceblock and Malfurion. They go for Mopsio and they secure the kill. The silence is in, but Malfurion is dead. A 2-for-1 heal on Illidan with the Ancestral. 3 heroes still in the battle. The drill is on the ground and is trying to drop Mucke, but they are chasing. The potential for Illidan is so huge. Tracer is dead though. Tracer is down, but we see a kill against Sylvanas. This game is getting crazy. Linked wants to jump, and Neon is just simply dancing away.
Oh my god, Kronos is going to try and end the game here. It's Tychus and Muradin to try and defend this. They're going to clear, Muradin's going to clear out the catapults while Neon begins to burn down Illidan. In comes Tassadar to try and shield him. Kronos is getting shredded. There's the Storm Shield. Link's coming in for the extra heal as well. They're sustaining through this Caldor.
They're sustaining through it for now, but Link is about to fall. Link is down the corn, the other hand is falling too. Illidan is just doing Illidan things. He's not getting stopped. The catapult, it's too much. The Jabronis catapults on the core of the opponent, but the Jabronis, they win it, Thatcher. It's a 2-1 for them after they were so far behind. What is this series?